The Matthew Stafford we saw on Thursday Night Football and we continue to see since the bye is exactly the Matthew Stafford that I expected the Rams to have this year. And furthermore, is a big reason why I've been so against drafting a quarterback. Before we get into it, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me at JK Bogan on all social media. Let's dive in. So Matthew Stafford has 14 touchdowns and 1 interception since the bye. He looks like the best quarterback in football. He's 35. He doesn't have really any signs of slowing down, although maybe if he had any, it was last year. I think he looks better this year than he did all of the Super Bowl season with the Rams. And to be honest with you, I think a big reason is because he has changed his approach as a quarterback in this league. Now, before, you look in 2021, this is a prime example. 36 big-time throws according to PFF. These are measured by really, low percentage throws, just big-time, contested, things like that. Just tough throws to make. That's what a big-time throw is. He's thrown 33 of those. He threw 36 in technically 3 more games in 2021. However, it's his turnover-worthy plays that have me really raising an eyebrow. You talk about 9 turnover-worthy plays this season, which is tied for the lowest in the league with Joe Burrow in quarterbacks that actually, I guess it is the lowest in the league because we're not counting Joe Burrow. He hasn't played in weeks, so he's the lowest in the league right now, okay? 33 big-time throws, which is tied for the most in the league with Dak Prescott. Here's the deal. Matthew Stafford, and if you go back in, 2021, you'll see he has over 20 turnover-worthy plays. He's playing better than he did in the Super Bowl season. So this isn't a video telling you why the Rams are a Super Bowl contender. I will make that video in due time. This is not a video telling you that Matthew Stafford is good, because obviously he's really good. This is not a video telling you that Matthew Stafford should win Comeback Player of the Year. I'll make that in due time. However, this is a video talking about the future and the here and now. And currently, the here and now shows you that Matthew Stafford is not one of the best quarterbacks. He is the best quarterback in all football since the bye. He's the best quarterback in all football since Kyren Williams has come back from injury. He's the best quarterback in all football since he's been protected. That's right. Matthew Stafford has the fewest sacks given up by an offensive line since the bye. So they've kept him upright, but I'm telling you, more of this has to do with Stafford than you realize. His pocket awareness, presence, the way he glides, it's noticeable. When you saw that scramble drill where he's going outside the pocket against his body, turns around and discus tosses a sidearm throw to get the first down to Demarcus Robinson, who's been just a monster in contested catch, percentage. That was Matthew Stafford showing you that he has changed the way he simply plays the game of football. It's not that he never, did this in the past, but we talked about it. We've said all year, this guy worked in the offseason to get his athleticism back up, okay? Just because he had an injury scare that could have cost him his career, spinal cord contusions aren't anything to trifle with, doesn't mean he can't work on it. So he played tennis. They talked about it on the broadcast, but we've heard about this pretty much all year. He had a workout regimen. He got himself in a condition where he can make these plays now. And earlier in the year, we saw a guy that really, I don't know if it was him or the offense, but the offense had him just going with those really, really low percentage throws, high risk, high reward, but high risk. And we were seeing not only Stafford having almost a career low completion percentage, but almost a career low passer rating. Now, I said all year, guys, the stats don't indicate how good he's been on film. And I kept saying that. People were like, well, okay, Jake, but he has like 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. I need to see more. Well, you got more. You got 14 touchdowns after the bye. But why did that happen? Well, I think part of it is with the Rams. It's with Mike LaFleur. It's with Sean McVay. They changed their approach. They changed the offense. But another part of it is 150% Matthew Stafford changing his approach. Because there's a reason why his big-time throws are about the same as the Super Bowl season. However, he's still Matthew Stafford. He still has that arm talent. You can change some things, but you can't get rid of that arm talent. The turnover-worthy plays, that starts a different discussion. He's had over 12 fewer turnover-worthy plays than he did in the Super Bowl year. He's not tossing down the field aimlessly anymore. It's not to say he was all the time, but there were times where he would take a throw and you'd be like, Matthew, what was that? I'm not seeing that. On this 5 out of 6 win streak, because they've won 5 out of the last 6 games, Stafford has been locked in. He's been taking what the defense gives him, and if the defense doesn't give him something, he's using this really complex hesitation where he's keeping his eyes downfield. He's somewhat pump faking, using his leg drive, but also using the ball, using a ball pat, whatever. And it's buying him that extra amount of time. I haven't really seen anyone do that since, I think Kurt Warner did it quite a few times, Peyton Manning, but I think the last one, the most recent, was Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger was kind of the king of waiting until, like, quite literally you had no more time to throw the football. He's throwing while he's getting hit. Stafford, he's doing that, like, I'm going to throw it. He, kind of puts some arc into it. And then, he lets it fly. And we saw that, I think, the example of that was that incredible touchdown pass to Cooper Kupp that he throws this lollipop, Tim Wakefield, rest in peace to him, of course. Tim Wakefield knuckleball up in the air, but it's not a knuckleball because it's a perfect spiral and the thing just swoops down into Cooper Kupp's hands in Baltimore from his own, from the 16-yard line off his back foot into the end zone. We've seen some incredible throws from him. So the here and now in 100% indicates that he should win Comeback Player of the Year. He should get some votes for MVP since it's technically a quarterback award. And he 100% should be getting praised as a top 3 quarterback in the sport. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Anyone that thought that he wasn't as good as Rivers and Matt Ryan and Eli, he's better than all of them. Okay? People have really underestimated him for too long. He's now in his 3rd year in this offense that they just continue to tailor to benefit him the most. Well, since he's not in his prime anymore, and you do have to make these adjustments based on some of the injuries and the fact the offensive line isn't as perfect as it used to be, because of the ownership he takes for this offense, we've seen him change his play style just a little bit. It's not a huge difference, but the results are huge. So that's the here and now. The here and now is that they got 2 more games. They're 8-7. Matthew Stafford is playing his best football of his career. But what does that mean for the future? Why did I bring up the future? What is the point of this video? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Matthew Stafford, he has a chance to Tom Brady this whole situation. Now, he's a father, and I am 100% certain he wants to obviously be available for his children. He has 4 young girls, I believe, 4 young girls. So there's definitely a risk at hand playing one of the most dangerous sports out there. However, I really do feel like not only is Stafford going to play through this contract until age 40, he's not only going to play through this contract, I think he might play through another one. Andrew Whitworth is the one that comes to mind. He signed an additional contract. I mean, sometimes when you're feeling it, you are feeling it. And I feel like right now, Stafford, first time in his career, has a running back go over 100 yards in back-to-back-to-back games. I feel like Stafford, first time in his career, has everything that he's ever really needed. I'm not saying they have the best offensive line in football. I'm not even saying the receiving core is the best in the league. I'm not saying he has the best defense or the best special teams. I am saying, however, he's got an incredible head coach that I would say has taken over as maybe the best coach in football in Sean McVay. The point I'm making here, folks, is that Matthew Stafford is not just a nice story where he's going to finish out half of his contract, Rams are going to move on. No. If you didn't see it yet in the last, 6 games that he's played, 5 of the last 6 games they've won, if you haven't seen it yet, Matthew Stafford is turning himself into a Rams legend. You can say what you will. He already won a Super Bowl. He is. I said this on the show last night. I said this. Stafford played, 12 years with the Lions? When all said and done, because he is playing so well right now, and I believe this is going to continue, he's going to be considered a Ram. He's going to be considered a Ram. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame with people remembering him as a Ram. You won't even be able to find a Matthew Stafford Lions picture when you just type in Matthew Stafford on Google Images. It's going to be all Rams. See, with him teamed up with Sean McVay, I don't see any reason why he would want to retire. He's 35. He's got plenty left in the tank. We act like his injuries are so exclusive. Like only he's dealing with this. He's had a laundry list of injuries, don't get me wrong. But look at where he is now. See, we talk all the time about Tom Brady. We talk all the time about his work ethic, the avocado ice cream, the crazy workout regimen, all that. Just because Stafford doesn't publicize everything he does doesn't mean he's not also working hard. He had to have worked hard. How else would he have come back from the injury that so many said was career threatening, career ending? And did you ever think maybe the reason why teams like the Jets were trying to get Stafford, the reason why they called the Rams, was because they saw something. And there's a reason why the Rams turned every trade down. It's the reason why Michael Lombardi, every time I kept talking about him, Michael Lombardi, I kept saying this is not true. The Rams were never trading Matthew Stafford. They don't look at his contract as a burden. This guy is somebody they believe can go down as the greatest player the greatest quarterback in their franchise's history. And we haven't seen anybody like that, Don Horns, since Kurt Warner. So it's not the purpose of this video isn't just to lecture you about how good Stafford is. Purpose of this video isn't just to remind you how good this season has gone so far for Stafford. It's not to remind you how important a bye week is. It's actually more than that. It's to remind you that the future could very well involve Matthew Stafford. You have to keep in mind something. Just because the Rams have a first-round pick, and just because their quarterback is the oldest active quarterback in the sport, does not mean they have to spend said first-round pick on a quarterback. Because they don't. See, here's the thing, okay? And I'm going to put it in the contract right now. I had it right in front of me. I'm going to bring it back up. His contract ends in 2027. He becomes a free agent in the offseason of 2027. He's got a potential out in 2026. He will be 39 after his deal. You really don't think he could sign for 2 more years? Here's the thing. If he's getting better at age 35, why are you concerned? The deal is this. If you want to go all in on Matthew Stafford, if you truly believe he can quarterback your team for another, 5-6 years, that would put him at 40, 41 years old. If you believe that, then you make damn sure you have your offensive line taken care of. You got a solid defense. You got a running back take the load off. You got weapons. That's the thing. He doesn't need the best of everything. He just needs quality of everything. That's how you're going to keep a 40-year-old Matthew Stafford upright. Sounds crazy, but in reality, I don't think it's that crazy. I don't get the situation. I don't see any sort of scenario where Matthew Stafford is looking to get out of LA. This is where he's going to retire. I have no doubt about it. They're not trading him. This is where he's going to retire. And this goes back, if you remember, with Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers. When Aaron Rodgers is, being an older quarterback, obviously he's 37, 38, right around this time when they're making this pick. Aaron Rodgers voiced his, displeasure for going out and getting a quarterback when they could have used a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, a defensive player, somebody to help the cause now. Was he wrong? He was not wrong at all. Jordan Love might be the starting quarterback for the Packers now. However, we will never know what that cost them then. What if that one player that they could have gotten in the first round with the Jordan Love pick, that one player would have won them the Super Bowl? That would have been the difference. Having a new receiver. See, that's the thing. The Rams don't want to find that out the hard way. They already won a Super Bowl, sure. There's no reason they can't go on a Super Bowl run again. There's no reason why they can't win this year. They can't win next year. They can't win the year after that. There's no reason why Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford can't be the new dynamic duo of coach and quarterback. See, people forgot about Matthew Stafford. It just takes 1 year. Takes your focus off it. Last year, the Rams were absolutely ravaged by injuries, and people forgot about how good Matthew Stafford is. The fact of the matter is this. When you look at this team, long-term, 60-plus million cap space next year, a lot of cap already taken off the books. You got players all over the board, from a Cooper Kupp drafted in the 3rd round, Puka Nacua in the 5th, Kyron in the 5th. The list goes on. You have all these guys that are not first-round picks, but now you're going to have your first-round picks back. What if you go out, you get another weapon for Stafford? Maybe you get a game-defining tight end. Maybe you trade up and you get Brock Bowers, and you think Brock Bowers is going to just take the league by storm. This Sean McVay offense with a Sam Laporta type of tight end, what does that look like? Who knows? Maybe they don't do that. Maybe they pivot, decide to go with the left tackle or a center. They get a left tackle of the future. Orlando Pace, Andrew Whitworth. And sure enough, Matthew Stafford's protected, and beyond Matthew Stafford's protected. They could go with a defensive player, maybe a corner that's a ball hawk, get more, generate more possessions for the offense. Edge defender, generate more possessions for the offense, strip sacks, things like that. They could even go and get another running back. I wouldn't be for it, but they could. Or they could just pick another quarterback, and they could pick him in the 1st round. And this person could wait and wait and wait to the point where now are you going to give him a 5th-year option, pay him top dollar, even though Matthew Stafford's still your quarterback? Are you going to move on from Stafford? How does that work? It's not that I'm against grabbing a quarterback. I'm against grabbing one in the 1st round wholeheartedly this year. And I might be, depending on how things go, I might be against it the next year. If you believe Matthew Stafford will play through this contract like the Rams do, because they wouldn't have offered him this deal if they didn't think he was going to play through it. If you believe that, then you believe he is going to be at least 39 by the time he's done with this contract. You also believe that he's not the quarterback this year. He's the quarterback next year, the year after that, the year after that. So 3 more years after this year, and then he hangs it up or he gets another deal. Why are you drafting a quarterback to sit for 3 years? Did you not learn anything about Joe Noteboom? Noteboom waited and waited and waited behind Andrew Whitworth. And then the Rams, without really knowing what they had in him, signed him to a long-term deal. At the time, I thought it was a good idea because I thought the times that we saw Noteboom, he was good. Hasn't gone well. As a matter of fact, he doesn't start on this team. Now imagine a position, not a third rounder, imagine a first rounder, and imagine that being a quarterback in that position. Now that 5th-year option, now the fact that he's a quarterback, it's not easy. So I came away from the Rams and Saints game with a lot of takes, with a lot of takeaways. So many that I had to break them up in isolated videos. My biggest takeaway Thursday night with Matthew Stafford wasn't that he should be comeback player of the year. Wasn't that he should get MVP look. Wasn't that he's one of the best quarterbacks right now in football. Wasn't that he's playing the best football of his life. Wasn't even that the Rams might have the best offense outside of the 49ers. My biggest takeaway was that Matthew Stafford can be the franchise quarterback, the genuine franchise quarterback, and he's not just a really hefty, really luxurious bridge quarterback. But we talk all the time about Aaron Donald having a statue outside of SoFi Stadium. The way Stafford's going, he might not be that far behind. When you think about it, Matthew Stafford, he's played now his 3rd season in LA. He plays 3 more, that's 6. He plays 2 more after that, that's 8. Maybe he plays another one, that's 9. He may never surpass the 12 seasons or so in Detroit, but rings are forever. And if he's able to take this team back to the Super Bowl this year, doesn't matter what he does the rest of his career, he'll be remembered as a Ram. But regardless of that, the most important thing is that I think the Rams struck gold giving him this contract, making the trade no one else was willing to do for the price that they were willing to pay. And sure enough, Matthew Stafford, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Offense, top 10, once again. Rams are riding high right now. And the future and the here and now both look bright. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think Matthew Stafford sticks around after his contract, similar to Andrew Whitworth and what he signed in 2017? How do you see it going down? Let me know in the comments section below. But I am Jake Ellenbogen. I will see you guys soon. You guys take care. Later, folks.
Start playing Pick'em or Weekly Fantasy for any sport today, Jake. Users will receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 if they use promo code OTE at sign up. Start playing Pick'em and Weekly Fantasy Football today with Underdog Fantasy.
Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.